Rightio, fellow barbecuers, welcome back to the Backyard Grill. Today I've got a ripper for you. This cook comes up on all the 4 or 5 pages that I follow. It comes up once, twice a week. Really popular one again. A lot of people do it really well, a lot of people struggle with it. The guys that are starting off struggle with it. Very, very simple cook, 1 ingredient, salt. Traditionally a Brazilian barbecue cook, which is called a picanha, which is a rump cap, which is what we got here. I wanted to do this as a comparison cook over 2 weekends, but I'm going to squeeze it in one day. So the reason being, I want to be able to have these both meats here cooked from the same place, bought from the same place, same seasoning, same size, although one on a rotisserie and one on a reverse sear. And I want to have them both here cut up at the same time, so I can definitely show you and tell you which I think, and the people that are here are going to taste it also, and be able to give you a genuine, taste test of what is the better taste. Personally, I know what I think will be the better one. I've done this video a couple of years back. I want to put this one on the channel. So basically what we're going to do, there is a recommended way of doing it Brazilian style. I have Brazilian family, I have Brazilian friends, and I've also spoken to a lot of people who are in the Brazilian barbecue caper. And they all sort of say the same thing. The rotisserie style is therapeutic, I was going to say. It is therapeutic, but it's theatrical, and it's a really good showstopper when they come to your table and they slice off the rotisserie rod. It is a nice way of doing it. Me personally, I think the reverse sear is better. I'm going to show you both ways, and you can judge that by for yourself. So what we're going to do is get yourself a rump cap. These are about 1.4, so try to stay in that 1.2 to 1.5 kilo range, which they're a lot more tender, which is this size here. This is 1.4, both of them, right? So what we're going to do is, on these picanhas, again, a lot of people don't follow this tradition. It can be done without following the grains, but I'm going to show you the recommended way, and you be the judge of what you want to do. Okay, so you have a grain coming through the meat, which you will see it, it's coming through this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these into individual steaks, okay? Around about, well, you judge that. If you want them thicker, you do them thicker. So I'm going to go roughly steaks so big, okay? Like so. And you'll end up with, so 4 nice steaks and 1 corner piece. The corner piece is not really renowned to be the best of it, but it's there, so you use it. So what we're going to do now, we just basically put this in a plate.
And do the same thing on the other one.
Or sort of. So what we're going to do with this, okay? Just salt, okay, and give it a good hit. This is just nice salt flake. Okay, and we're going to turn that around and do the same on the other side. It's a very cheap, simple cut, but done properly, this is as good as any ribeye, as good as any steak that you'll get. It's just unbelievable. You can take it to whatever internal temps you want. I'll show you what I do, and then you be the judge for yourself, however you like it or your guests like it. All right. So that now is just going to sit here, come to room temp as per normal. Let that sit. Now what we're going to do now with the rotisserie one, we're going to go against the grain, okay? So our final cut, so remember this, when you do a reverse sear, with the grain, raw, with the grain. So your final cut is going to be against the grain, cooked. With the rotisserie one, we're going against the grain raw. So your final cook is you're cutting it off the rod, okay? So we're going against the grain this time here. These ones here, we're going to go a little bit thicker. We're going to go about 3 fingers. So we're going to curl them over and we're going to put them onto the spit. So we're going to go roughly, I've marked them, right? So we're going to go roughly chunks like so. Okay, with these corner pieces, put them away if you want. You can do some direct action with them, no problem. Right, so you end up with chunks like so. And what we do, we salt them, we fold them, we spear them, and they're going to go in the rotisserie, all right? I'll show you that right this second. What we'll do here, same thing again. Salt these up. Okay, Give them a nice salting. A lot of people do put salt, pepper and season it. You can, it works, no problem. But I'm showing you traditional, the way that the South Americans do it. This is it, rock salt, and that's all. All right, so they're now both going to sit as like that, get to room temp. I'll bring you back in a sec. I'm going to spear this for you. You can go outside. I've got Black Betty set up for the rotisserie. I've got Bluey ready to go. We're going to get outside, we'll show you all the kettle setups, and we're off and running, right? So we'll see you in a sec. We'll spear these up, and we'll go to the next step. Rightio guys, back for the second part. I'm going to try and keep this video down as low as possible because there's a bit to run through. So what we've done there, everything's come up to room temp now. With the spear, you get the steaks, you bend them into a semicircle, and basically you're just threading the rod through one side into the next, and individually push them through. Give them a squeeze, tighten your clamps, and that's what you end up with, okay? You end up with 3 nice chunks of meat like that. Depending on how big your picanha is, your rump cap is, you can maybe squeeze a 4th one in. I ended up with a little piece, so I'm just going to keep it nice, 3 even pieces. Okay, so that's ready to go. Salted, everything's salted, ready. I've got the kettles outside now, both going. I'm not going to show you the actual pouring of the kettles because, like I said, I want to try and keep this down. We've now got Black Betty with 2 baskets in. I will show you the whole setup. And what we're going to do is you're going to bring this up to temp, to whichever way you like to do it. With my reverse sear, in all my reverse sears that I do, and I'll put my videos out, I will bring an internal temp of 130 Fahrenheit, and then we're going to give it a quick minute sear. Okay, that'll give you a nice medium finish. A lot of people start wars like we always talk about, these medium rares and well done wars. It's just the way I like it. I like medium, and so does my family. If people come over, you can ask them how they like it. Alright, so we're going to go to a 130 and a quick sear, and with this here, we're going to end up with about a 140 instant read. We'll just keep probing that after about 45 minutes, and we'll just test till we get about 140 finished there. Okay? Rightio, so we're going to head out the back. The sun's shining, the fires are up. We're going to have some fun out there. I'll show you the setup. We'll see you outside. Rightio, we're back. As you can see, we've got Black Betty set up for the rotisserie.
Black Betty and
we've got
Bluey
set up for the reverse sear. Same old story with the charcoal and briquettes argument. These are both going to be quick cooks, so again, low and slow briquettes, hot and fast charcoal. This is acacia we're using today. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put this in. Okay, as you can see in here, Mace, have a look in here. You've got your 2 baskets and a drip tray. Right, turn her on. That now is going to spin and do its thing. Alright, so we're going to get back to you now in about 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to get the reverse sear going. This should finish quicker, so we're going to get that going next. So we'll see you in a sec for the next one. Right, we're back for the reverse sear. We've got Bluey set up, okay? What we've got going on in here is we've got 1 basket full of charcoal, alright? We've got a probe in. We're going to hit for around about 275. If you haven't got these things, you can get it done. If, like I keep telling you, for the 100 odd bucks, grab one because they're more accurate. If you haven't and you want to give it just a rough shot, put your 1 basket in, quarter bent open bottom, quarter bent open top. Let it settle for about 20 minutes, and you should be in the ballpark. All right. What we're going to do, we'll put our steaks like so. And we're going to put our probe in the middle of that one there. And we're going to chase our 130. Alright, lid goes on. A lot of people do smoke at this stage. This cook here, I'm just doing a traditional non-smoke. I have smoked them, it is good. This cook, I want to do a taste test comparison cook. So just salt on both of them. Alrighto. Close her up, and we're back on to 130. Our rotisserie is going now. We've got our good old mate here. For those of you who don't know Simon Verona, he's the king of Weber's, he's the king of burgers, and he's my brother-in-law. He's here to assist, give me a bit of assistance for the 2 cooks. Alrighty, so we're going to let these both go now, and we're back soon, and we'll show you products. Rightio guys, we've now hit 102 degrees. So this is probably the stage now where I will get another jug getting prepared now for the sear. So in the meantime, while the jug's firing up, this will be finishing up to the 130 mark. Then we can replace the kettle with some hot charcoal ready for the sear, and it all times out really well. Our rotisserie is going well, starting to juice up. Good idea to cook that juice right out, because it sometimes can taste a bit gamey, that blood that self-bastes and rotates. So just try to cook it over. Last 5 minutes I'll give it a good direct hit, and yeah, just really cook it through so you get rid of that gamey, meaty, real strong flavour. Alrighty, so we're going to let them both go for a bit longer, and we'll probably be back for the sear. Catch you soon. Okay guys, we're back. We've hit a temp of 130 Fahrenheit internal. So we're going to take these off now. We're going to put on a plate, cover them with some foil. They're going to rest for a little while. I've got my other jug ready to go, and we're going to fill up this half ready to sear. Rightio? So we're going to take this off. As you can see, I need my tongs. As you can see, they don't look a pretty sight. They look boiled, as you know, the reverse sear, this part of the process is not a pretty looking sight. So what we're going to do, we're going to take these off. Okay, we're going to cover that up. We're going to take this grate up, we're going to fill it up with charcoal, and we're going to come back to the sear. So we'll see in about 5 minutes. Rightio, we're back now. The meat's been resting for about 10 minutes while we're getting this screaming hot. This is super, super hot, okay? At this stage, it doesn't matter if this rests for a long time, whether it be 10 minutes, whether it be half an hour. That's not going to make any difference while you're getting all this set up. Alright, so I've basically got half a kettle in chimney and half no. Now this has got a fat cap on it, so it can get flary, okay? This is a real flary sear. So what I like to do is probably 2 at a time, just to be safe. Okay. You know what? So in a couple of, we're not going to video this whole sear, but I'll get back to you on the flip, so you'll see the actual really the sizzling sear of it. So we'll see in a sec for the flip. About a minute each side. I've been now searing for about a minute, minute and a half. Hasn't flared up as much as I thought, because I did trim the fat cap a little bit. So what we're going to do, oh look at that beautiful crust. There you have it. So we're going to let that one now sit for another minute, 2 minutes, and then they're ready to go. And we're going to head over to the rotisserie, and we'll get that one searing. All right, see you soon. As you can see, smoking up, flaring, all that charcoal flavour, returning back onto the meat. And that's it. That's a wrap for the reverse sear. Rightio, we've brought our baskets in. We're giving this its last little sear, just to give that fat cap a bit of crisp. Stay aware now, because this does drip a lot of fat and juices and flares up, so be on the ball for this one here. Alright, I'm going to just let that fat cap crisp up a bit, and then I'll give it a quick little minute of rotating, and then we're going to bring it inside, and we're going to taste the both of them, and we'll give you our honest opinion. Catch you soon. Okay guys, we're back. We're all done. We've got both these meats now rested, ready to carve up and ready to give it that taste test. Apologies, I really wanted to do these individually, these 2 cooks, one on one day, one on the other. Although we wouldn't have been able to give it a proper taste test. This way here, what we've done, we can cut them both up on the day and truly give you what we think, you know, is the best way of doing it. Another thing at the start of the video, when you have your rump, I forgot to tell you this, when you have your rump cap sitting out in front of you, the fat cap is your choice. If you want it quite thick, you leave it alone. If not, just give it a little skin, little trim over the top of the fat cap, and just get it down a bit to your liking. You can go and leave it alone if you like fat. Me personally, I like to trim it a bit. On the underside of the meat, there also is a bit of a silver skin. Just trim it, just clean all the bottom up. Any sort of dags or fatty bits under there, also just give it a little bit of a clean up. Okay, so now we've taken these up to 130 Fahrenheit, and then we've let them rest and give them a sear of about a minute and a half each side. So what we're going to do, I'm going to cut this straight down the guts just to show you. It's just so juicy. You can see the plate you can still see it's beautiful and juicy. Medium. And then basically you can cut this up however you like it, thin, thick, do what you want. You can also use it with a chimichurri sauce. You know, traditionally it's just beautifully left to eat like that, which we all do, but we can, look at that, this is so soft, pulls apart. Wow, that's beautiful. Spot on, salty, really juicy and really soft. That's as good as any, I'm not lying to you, that's as good as any ribeye. That is really, really good. Okay, so what you can do that with all of them is basically slice them all up and you're done. Okay, as you can see, the amount of juice that comes out of that meat is incredible. Alright, so we're going to leave this alone now. Now with this one here, you can take this off and cut it individually, no problem. A lot of the restaurants come to your table and they carve up like that onto your table. Okay, so just for now, I'm just going to take off a chunk like so. And you can, like I said, you can just sit there and carve all the way down. Again, medium, beautiful. Same texture, soft, beautiful, tender, a lot more salty. I think because it's self-based and it's got that little bit more of a strong meaty flavour, which actually is really nice this time. Sometimes it can be a bit gamey and strong. That is really, really good. So this is my opinion and my opinion only. I think tasting those two right now, the reverse sear is a beautifully textured, it cuts soft, it's more tender. This way is a touch more tough, but it's a lot more tasty. That there is really, really tasty. That fat and that salt has spun and spun and spun. And I think it's done a little bit more of a trick than that there. Okay, reverse sear, texturally wise, beautiful, really soft, really juicy. This one here, a lot more flavoursome. Alright, so I hope that helped you guys differentiate the difference between a reverse sear and a rotisserie picanha. Again, like I said, both really, really good. So it's a matter of maybe trying them both and see what you like, which method is easier for you. And so give it a crack. I hope I inspire some beginners to give this a crack because it's a cheap cut of meat which cooked properly is as good as any meat you can cook, a steak. Alrighty, so like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you need any help with it, feel free to throw me a message if I can help you out. No problem whatsoever. Alright, so until the next one, happy grilling and we'll catch you on the next video. See ya.